It is always a distinct pleasure to welcome one of my favorites. I've been talking to this man for probably almost 3 decades when I was doing the radio show, and always insightful, always funny. We had a great time talking all the different sports. We're going to concentrate a little bit on basketball and baseball today. The owner and proprietor of the 3 Dot Lounge, Mr. Bruce Jenkins. How are you, Bruce?
I'm good. After that, well, see you later. I got to go.
Well, it's closing. 3 Dot Lounge closes earlier than it used to.
Geez, where'd the time go?
It's good to see you. Look great.
You too. It's a pleasure to be on, believe me.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Well, let's start with the Giants, since the Giants, a little bit of a tailspin right now. And the one thing that jumps out to me is if they don't pitch, they have no chance of getting to the playoffs. I mean, that's kind of the backbone of their team. Devers was supposed to solidify the offense. That hasn't happened yet. But, Webb goes out there in Toronto and gets beat up. Ray gets beat up in Toronto. Roop has no idea where the strike zone is anymore. Like, if the pitching falters, there's really not much hope for this team, is there?
Well, no, I don't think so. And I bought into the idea that this rotation was going to be solid for the whole season.
Mm-hmm.
Not only that, but they had backups. They had Harrison and they had Wisenhunt and they had guys in the minor leagues. Rotation was going to be good. It's been anything but that. Roop and Birdsong right now are holding the team back. Birdsong isn't even with the team. He was sent down today. You look at a game like last night. You just don't know what you're going to get. It wasn't that long ago that the outfield looked pretty good. Ramos was at least a candidate for the All-Star game, and Jung Hoo Lee figured he's going to get it back. He's a good dude, and Yaz had a bit of a revival, but right now I don't know if they can even play Ramos in left field. He's so clunky out there. Jung Hoo is not doing anything of note, and Yaz is, after that revival, is right back into the 230s where he's always been and where he probably always will be. So I mean, that's a big thing now. I think Devers has been hitting the ball hard. I think he's going to be okay.
Yeah,
he's too good a hitter not to be. I don't think that's a big concern. Adames, I've always liked him. I think whatever he's struggling, that didn't bother me at all. Now he's coming alive. But this is not enough when you look at the other teams. I mean, even Arizona, is struggling, but they got Carroll and Suarez and Thomas and all these. They got a bunch of guys who can hit. Josh Naylor and. If they can get the team together, they could pass the Giants. So it certainly doesn't look good right now, especially with the rotation.
Yeah, I still think long term, I like the team. I think Devers is going to be fine. I mean, you don't put up an OPS of like close to 900 or so for 5 years and then all of a sudden drop off. He'll be fine. Damas will be fine. He's here for 7 years. Chapman's going to be what Chapman always is. That's fine. The one missing piece for me is Jung Hoo Lee. Like, I just thought he would be better by now. I mean, he's fine in center field, but I thought he'd be your leadoff guy, get on base, steal bases, ignite the offense for this team. And that hasn't really even happened. In fact, it's gone so far as to where they lead off Ramos and put him in the 5th and 6th spot. That's not really what I think anybody, I doubt the Giants envisioned that. So he's the one guy. He was kind of an unknown. I figured it'd take him a little while to get going here, but it's not clicking. And that one, if he could be a leadoff hitter, like a solid leadoff hitter, I think you'd see the offense flow. Not that he pitches, which is the problem right now, but I still think if you got him at the top of the order and he was a solid leadoff hitter, you could just set the offense. You'd be good to go.
Yeah, I'm surprised he didn't lead off, in April, right off out of the gate, and for the season. And he looked the part for a while. And he was doing all the things that you want to do, going the opposite way, drop a bunt here and there. And now it's not like he's being pitched that particularly well. This is a guy who was known he wouldn't swing and miss, maybe once every Tuesday. And now it happens a couple times in at bat. The pitches right down the heart he's not connecting with. He's got this dramatic follow through, like he's hitting the ball. I don't know what that is. That's not what they want from him. But this is the way he's been his whole life. I don't want to ride the guy, but he's got to get it right. He's got to figure out how to get on base. I would try to drop a few more bunts the way that you see the third baseman playing back and right-hand pitcher.
Yeah,
you're going to have that. But that's kind of a bit of a mystery. I'm glad they're sticking with him. I don't think you give up on that guy. He's been too good a player, a real character guy. He's got people in the stands wearing crazy outfits. So, but right now it's a little depressing to watch him hit.
Isn't it interesting? I mentioned Devers. Isn't it interesting that you go through all the analytics and the value and the future value and the present value, and literally none of those entities would have agreed to that trade. They'd have said, hell no, we're not trading Devers and his huge contract for controllable years of Tibbs and Harrison. And I get why, the analytics would think that way, but that's not real life. Real life is you have no idea what Harrison's going to ever become. You have no idea what Tibbs is going to become. You do know what Devers is, and you have to assume that there may be a couple bad years at the end of the contract. So you take that risk. The problem I had, and I wasn't as down on Farhan as everybody else was, but I've talked to 2 or 3 people on the show, and we all agree there's no way Farhan makes this trade. He just doesn't. And this is a Buster Posey trade. And I think this is a trade you had to have. You can't bring hitters in here via free agency. You needed someone in the middle of the order, and then work your way from there. But this was a deal that I would do 100 out of 100 times.
Oh, yeah. I mean, think about Devers. He's shown that if his head's not right, he doesn't look the same. At the start of the season, this whole first base thing was going back and forth, and he was completely upset with everybody. He went like 0 for 100, and then he shows up here and everything's different. Everything's strange. And you got to play first base. And, Will Clark wants him to work out there. And it got to his head. I mean, then they start out in Toronto for the second half. All right. This is a park that he knows. It's on the road. Let's just start fresh. And he's been the real deal. He hasn't had those impact hits, first and second, he jacks a 3-run homer. Now they're up by 2 runs, that kind of thing. He hasn't had that kind of presence, but I think he will. He's making good contract. And of course you make that deal. I really don't think Harrison is going to be a big stud in Boston. I actually like Hibbs a lot. He's a good blind drive hitter, but you don't know. I mean, you really have no idea. And I think the trade's going to increasingly look good.
So if you're the Giants right now, you make the big splash, you go out and get Devers, and you're trying to chase down the Dodgers. At minimum, hang in there and overtake the Padres or the Cardinals. Or, I mean, now we can almost, I don't want to say assume, but it sure looks like the Central is going to get 2 because the Brewers just do not lose anymore.
Amazing.
And that's for those people that don't watch them, that's a really good baseball team with a bunch of dudes that you may not know, except for the guy that was in the All-Star game, Mizorowski. Chirios is really good. Yelich is, they just have a really good team. Woodruff just came back for him, so the pitching staff's only going to get better. But anyway, so that's probably another team they're not going to quite pass. You have to assume the East is going to get 2, Philly and the Mets. So if you're the Giants and you don't straighten this out, like in the next series or 2, what do you do? I mean, you don't have a ton to sell, I don't think, because you can't get rid of any of your big pieces. You're hoping to be better. I think that it's kind of like the Braves, right? Where it's like, we're not going to sell. We think we could be good next year. This was just a weird year. We're going to go back at it again next year. But what do you do if you're them?
Yeah, and it might not be that weird a year for the Braves, as it turns out. I mean, you've seen these guys, Acuna and Olsen and Murphy, that, last night, they're still Albies. It's a team to be reckoned with for sure. But
yeah, they are.
Yeah, I mean, you obviously you're not going to unload the mainstay. You're not going to unload Adames or Devers. I think the outfield, the outfield right now, you want a complete remake, but that's not going to happen. I think they have to stick with Ramos because of his bat and hope he doesn't hurt him too bad, and hope that Jung Hoo revitalized. I don't have any faith in Yaz as much as I like him as a person, as being a guy you want up there with 2 guys on. I really don't. I mean, if you can get a guy like Duran from Boston, or a guy who can really hit for sure, I think that'd be good, because Matos he's in and out, and it's just Luciano's kind of calmed down in the minors. I don't even know where he's playing now.
I have no idea. No idea.
Yeah, they're when Eldridge shows up, that's probably going to make a difference. He seems like a real deal as a hitter. He's got JT Snow working with him, but for right now, what do you do? I don't think you bring him up too soon, because first base, every position in baseball is very hard to play. It's including first base, the footwork, the throws you have to make, the reactions you have to have. It's hard, and you can really get exposed over there. We've been spoiled by Snow and Brandon Belt and guys like that, but if you come up, next thing you know, you're looking like Ramos over there, and you don't want that. So that's good for the future. But right now, I think you just got to hang with him. You hope that Wisden can come up and get some wins. I'm not Roop doesn't. I know he's been a little bit off, but he still has his stuff. Birdsong doesn't even have his stuff. He can't find the plate. The curveball has no snap. The fastball has no idea where it's going. And with Webb and Robbie Ray and Roop, I think that's a pretty good base for the rotation. The bullpen has been in and out, but it's a fair cry better than a lot of teams. So you got to put a streak together. Things seem a lot better. I think Casey Schmidt could be doing more. I wish, I'm such a fan of that guy. When he got sent to base, I thought this is cool. I'm really glad he's getting his shot, and he's a tremendous defensive player. He made an unreal play last night. And he can hit for power, but he's not quite there as a guy who's going to be a mainstay in the order. I think he can be. That's something that would help him. A little more from Bailey, but we're talking about these guys, and then you look at the Dodgers for all the troubles they've had, or the Brewers who own the Dodgers.
I know
every single time,
crazy.
And they get a bunch of line drive hitters all up and down the lineup. Who's Caleb Durbin? Well, he's going to kill you. That's who he is.
Yeah.
So the Giants are looking up at a lot of things right now, and they don't want to go any farther down.
What do you make of the entire league right now? Because it just seems like it's really a toss-up. Like the Dodgers, it's wild. 2 years in a row, their pitching has just been completely in shambles. And I know Ohtani's coming back, but boy, they're really spoon-feeding him. It's an inning. Okay, let's give him 2. Okay, 3. I don't know if he's going to be even ready to go 5 by the time the playoff starts. He may be. Glass now just came back. Snell, who knows when the hell he's gonna come back. May's been okay. Their bullpen's good when it's healthy. Mookie Betts, I can't figure that out. I'm wondering if there's something going on that's like we don't know about, because you never know what's going on in an athlete's life. And this is so un-Mookie Betts like. And then Freeman, who got off to the hot start, he hasn't been very good in the last month and a half. Pajas has been fantastic. Smith has been fantastic, and of course, Ohtani's Ohtani. So you just give it. It's like just give him 1,000 OPS at the start of the year and just leave it there, and he'll be fine by the end of the year. But I don't know. They're the shoe in. The Cubs are fantastic. The Brewers. Then you have the Mets and the Phillies. I really like the Phillies. So the National League's going to be something once. And I forgot to mention the Padres too. And who knows if the Giants can get back into it, but the National League's going to be like a Pier 6 brawl come playoff time.
Yeah, you look at the Padres compared to the Giants lineup with Tatis and Machado and Cronenworth and Bogarts and Arias, for heaven's sakes.
Jackson Merrill or Merrill Jackson. It's one of the two. It might be two different guys. I'm not sure, Bruce. 2 last names. I just always go Merrill Jackson, Jackson Merrill. Yeah. Just to cover my bases.
Here he is, the fabulous Smith Jones. I agree with that, but they're top to bottom solid, and if they get any pitching, the Giants simply are not going to finish ahead of them. Just period. So it really does. And you talk, at the top, you've got the Dodgers and the Cubs and the Brewers and the Phillies. That's what it's going to come down to. The wild card race is going to be fun. I don't know if there's going to be any big shockers there.
Yeah.
One thing you got to watch is what Arizona does with Gallen and Kelly. There's 2 pitchers who might be.
Yeah.
Suarez, for heaven's sake, I don't know how many homers he has. It's more than anybody else. He's Naylor. These are pretty good players who might be traded. I don't know if they would. I don't know if they're going to do that though. They've been good lately. They're looking at the wild card as a good thing. If we could just get anywhere near it, maybe we can sneak up on people like we did a couple of years ago. But the Dodgers, now Tanner Scott's got a forearm problem as of today. You just saw that.
Yeah.
Everybody's hurt. Is their strength and conditioning program really that good? Everybody's hurt. 78 guys on the IL. It's just, you just wonder who's next. Glasnow will not. This is not what we're going to see the rest of the season. Dustin May showed up with a better haircut. He doesn't look like a clown out there. He pitched good last time. He's up and down. Ohtani, by the way, gave up 5 rockets in the first 2 innings. They but boom, 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 boom. The Twins just like, so it's just but Mookie Betts, I think, is at the heart of it because Dave Roberts said we sat him down. He goes, we got to see what's in his head. We got to see if he's ready to face tonight's starting pitcher. Thinking, really?
Yeah, I know.
That's serious, So
and they switched it up. It was like 2 or 3 games ago. They went with Betts batting lead off and Ohtani batting second, which was the way it was last year until Betts was hurt. Then they moved Ohtani up to the leadoff spot, and he was so good they just left him there and continued to roll. So yeah, that's a head scratcher right there, because Mookie Betts is one of those guys also that you just plug him in with a 900 OPS start of the year, and he could be a little up, little down, but he's in it, and he just hasn't had it this year for some reason. All right, here's what I want to do, and I thought this would be a fun exercise to do with you. With all your knowledge of the sport. We're going to do this in basketball and baseball. And there really are no rules. We're going to draft a baseball team. We're going to go back and forth. I'm going to get my guest first pick. And we're going to have a baseball squad. We're going to have no DH. Sorry, Ohtani.
I love it.
You're going to have to sit this one out. You bring a glove, you bring a bat. You bring a bat, you bring a glove. You got to play. So we'll do one position or one player per position. And then we'll do how about we do a staff of 3? We'll do a staff of 3, and then I guess we could throw a closer in there. I'm going to go with players, most of them anyway, guys that I've seen. And most of these guys will be comparable to the greatest players of all time. So I could take Babe Ruth. That'd be an easy pick. I'm not going to. I did not see Babe Ruth, so I'm not going to pick Babe Ruth. But so I'm going to get. It's interesting too, because I started thinking about this, Bruce, and I'm like, okay, it gets a little tricky because there's some positions where there's so many guys. It's like, well, I don't even need to pick a guy right away because I'll just take what's left over and I'm totally fine. There's a couple positions where it's like, ooh, I'd really like that guy because it seems like the fall off to the next guy, while not severe, is a little bit more dramatic maybe than other positions. So I'm going to let you, and then then we can like put them in order. We're going to do a little order at the end of the endeavor. I'm going to let you go first, and then we'll just go back and forth until we get a complete team.
Okay, well, I'm pretty old. I did see Honus Wagner play, and we had a few drinks.
Wow, you look great. You look amazing. Wow, whatever you're taking, give me some of that. That's wild.
He and Cap Anson were a couple of cut-ups.
Did you see Nat Lazaway?
I sure did. Bad drinker. One drink and he's under the table, poor guy. But no, I saw. You hear enough about Willie Mays, but I saw a lot of Mays, and people go, "Boy, you like you, the young Southern California kid. Boy, you must have hated Mays." I did not hate Mays. I was in awe of Mays. I revered him. I wanted to see him every day. Yeah. And I'm going to start with him. I don't think anybody could really challenge that. He's in center.
No, I don't think anybody could challenge that. It's almost like if I'm a Giants fan, I would find it really hard to hate Clayton Kershaw. As great as he is, he just seems like a really cool guy, a guy that I'd really love to have on my team, a great teammate. And you could begrudgingly kind of sports hate him if you aren't like, God, this guy kills us every single time. But deep down, like if you don't like a guy like Clayton Kershaw and what he represents, and if you saw him, he was mic'd up in the All-Star game. That was one of the better moments of the All-Star game. You got a you problem. That's a you problem. So anyway, okay, you went center field, Willie Mays. I'm going to go a position that I kind of thought, this is a tough one for me because I'm going to leave one of my favorite players off of this team. But second base to me is one of those positions where I had I could go a bunch of different ways, but I wanted to get in there as quickly as possible because I wanted to take Joe Morgan at second base. One of the leaders of the Big Red Machine in the 70s. This guy had it all. He had some power. He could hit for average. He had speed. He had defense. And I just think Joe Morgan is a step above at least most second basemen that I've ever seen. So my first pick, maybe a little bit of a surprise, will be Joe Morgan at second base.
No, I agree. You got to jump on second base. I would have done the same thing. Maybe not as early as you did, but absolutely Joe Morgan. He's the guy. My pick's going to be a guy I really saw a lot of, and that's Sandy Kofax.
Oh,
I saw him pitch in 3 different World Series. I saw him pitch all of his home games in the 59, 63, and 65. I was at the perfect game just as it happened. I was sitting in the stands, and I tell you, this guy's the greatest pitcher that ever lived. And screw you if you don't believe it. not you personally. I don't care how long.
What happened?
If you were there, money. 14 strikeouts, Yankee Stadium. See you later. 13, I think it was. Shutout, Mantle, Maris, whatever. You're gone.
Yep.
Everybody's gone. Kofax.
It was interesting. I saw a clip last night. I think it was on Instagram or something, and it was Mickey Mantle, Duke Snyder, and Willie Mays sitting down together and talking, and they were talking about the toughest guys they had to face. And Mantle said it was Drysdale and Kofax, and he said, I think Mantle said at one point that if Kofax was as mean as Drysdale, no one would have ever got a hit off him. He goes, no one would have hit. He goes, nobody hit him anyway. But if he would have been as mean as Drysdale, he goes, forget it. And then he told the Drysdale story where he gave, he looked in the dugout and they gave him the intentional walk sign to Frank Robinson. So he just hit him, and he said, why waste 3 pitches?
Yeah. Yeah, the famous game where Marshall took a bat to John Roseborough, tempers were really running high that day, and it was a complete chaos, one of the worst scenes ever. And but Kofax was pitching and was able to stay in the game, although he was right in the middle of it, but he was able to stay in the game. And Mays thinks, okay, Kofax is not going to hit me. He's not that kind of a guy. He's not going to retaliate. He's not going to buzz me inside. I'm going to look for a fastball. And Mays hit the home run that decided that game because he knew that about Kofax. But it didn't matter how nice of a guy he was. I mean, he pitches Game 7 of the World Series on 2 days rest and with only the fastball, and a good Twins team couldn't hit him. Sick stuff. But yeah, I'll tell you what, I was at Game 3 of the '63 World Series also with Drysdale against Jim Bowden. I swear to God, that's one of the best games I've ever seen. Bowden coming out from under his hat, throwing as hard as he ever did, and Drysdale, fabulous stuff. So yeah,
that's incredible. I love old baseball. The old baseball stories are the absolute best. Okay, I'm gonna go to the outfield, and I'm gonna take someone that no, I'm gonna leave him for later. If you sneak in there and grab him, then whatever. But I mean, how do you not have Barry Bonds on the team?
I know.
I mean, I'm not even talking about supersized Hulkamania Barry Bonds. I'm just talking about Barry Bonds early in his Giants career, his Pittsburgh career. You look up his numbers and you forget this guy was like 1,000 OPS guy with speed and really good in the outfield. The only negative is the arm. He didn't have a great arm, but everything else was A+. And you look back and you're like, oh man, all his OPSs like back then were like 1,000, 980, 970. Like, and it isn't like in comparison to 1,300, where he went God mode for like 5 years. It didn't seem that impressive, but like he was an incredible baseball player. He just kind of taints everyone's view of him because those 5 years that he did allegedly, do we even have to say that anymore? The steroids. It went from like a mortal to a god. And so the mortal even the good mortal doesn't seem all that good compared to a god, but I got to have Barry Bonds on the team. Barry Bonds, one of the best hitters I've ever seen. Steals bases, 40-40 guy. I mean, I'll buy him a leather Barca lounger out of my own money and let him be comfortable. And I'll put Barry out and left.
Yeah, I always voted for him for the Hall of Fame. I would have cast 1,000 votes for him every year if I could have. He was that good. You hear other players talk about him, Tony Gwynn, Greg Maddux. He goes, I can't pitch to that guy. I can't pitch to him. Other players were in awe of him. Forget the performance-enhancing drugs. I mean, the first time I ever saw Bonds, I was in Pittsburgh, and he was a rookie. I forget he was pitching for the Giants, but I was looking down at my sheet, and all of a sudden, and Bonds hit a thing in Three Rivers Stadium that he would have left the planet. He didn't pull it up the facing of this guy. He's the greatest pure hitter among all the great power hitters that ever lived. He's the best pure hitter of all of them. So I wholeheartily, I was going to slide. I thought maybe you'd back off a little bit, but no. Right
I had to sneak Barry in there.
Yeah. Well,
all right.
I'm gonna stick in the outfield. My favorite player growing up was Hank Aaron.
Okay.
Everybody loved Mays, and I had a buddy of mine. We were both big Aaron fans. We checked the box every morning. It was always 4-2-2-3 or something like that. And Aaron, we loved his style, his consistency, and by the time he threatened the home run record, we're like, everybody likes Aaron now. We're done. But we loved him, 58 to 65. Just the way he played the game and the longevity he had, he blew everyone away. I mean, he did more than anyone could have expected. But pure class, unbelievable stats, right field.
Man, that's a hell of an outfield right there. I thought about Aaron, but I was like, if I go Aaron, you might go Bonds, and I wanted to get Bonds in there. So damn, they like your outfield's looking. Outfield's looking pretty good.
I like it. I like the outfield.
Yeah. I kind of like your outfield. I think your outfield is.
I'm gonna have Dan Gladden on the other side there. So
yeah. Okay, now I'm gonna sneak in here. I did. It's funny I'm going to do this because I couldn't stand this team growing up because they were really good and they were always competing against the Dodgers in the playoffs, and I hated them. But I'm going to go another of the big red machine. I think someone that kind of separates himself from players at this position. I got to go Johnny Bench, catcher. Yeah. I mean, Johnny Bench controlled the running game. Yeah, hit for power, leader, a winner. And that's it. I mean, that's exactly what you want. And I thought about like later on, if I didn't get a catcher, I could go Posey for the same type of reasons. Although it's like, but it's not to the, I mean, Bonds, I mean, not Bonds, but Bench was just, he was incredible at all those things and the leadership and doing those things. So I always thought he was the leader of that. Him and Joe Morgan anyway were the leader of the big red machine. So I'm going to go Johnny. And he could hold 7 baseballs in one hand. So Johnny Bench,
no question about it. He had it all, but he was a revelation too. Especially, he was so much better than anyone who'd come before him, and he's that's held up. It's tremendous. Well, your team is I wouldn't say too bad, not too bad of a club. Let's see, what am I going to do here? I think shortstop is a position where you can go a lot of ways. I won't throw out other names because it's still in play. But I'm just going to put Jeter in there because I think Jeter.
I didn't think you'd take him.
He represented
you dirty dog.
Everything. Pure winner, hit for average, hit for power, great defense, unbelievable guy. The fact that he was on those Yankee teams, no accident that they won so often. Just pure class. There's a lot of guys I'd think about more defensive oriented, but Jeter's the whole package. I'm going to go that way.
You know what he is, Bruce? He's the guy. Like I always compared him and A-Rod. And A-Rod was the guy on a team that was 500 or below that scored 29 points, got 9 rebounds, 6 assists. And everybody thought, God, this guy's incredible. He's great. And Jeter was a guy on a winning team that had maybe 20 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, but made all the winning basketball plays where A-Rod didn't make the winning basketball plays. He just put up the numbers. That's what I think about when I think of Jeter. You look at that, at the time, it was him, A-Rod, Garcia Parra, even Tejada came a little bit. When Tejada was right now, like you look at Jeter compared to those guys in terms of just pure numbers, you say, God, I don't know. Is he second? Is he third? I mean, A-Rod is certainly the best shortstop. Look at all the physical tools this guy has. But then when you watch him like all the time, you're like, oh, this guy just does the right thing. He's in the right spot. He hits it. He makes winning basketball plays. Like it's not always about the numbers. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Just win. And that's damn it. Oh man, I have to rethink shortstop now. You got me there.
And the thing is that, on teams like this, when you pick a guy like Jeter, the other guys in your team, and Mays in there, and they're going to go, dude, good call there. We're good there.
You're good there. You're good there. All right, I'm gonna go, man, alive. I'm gonna. Okay, I've gone kind of 90s and 70s. I'm gonna move it up into this century, and obviously, I mean, this one's a given for me. He hasn't been great the last couple of years because of injuries, but I got to go. My guy Mike Trout in center field. I mean, this guy is, again, I think he's a guy who's a winner. He's a power hitter. Before he got hurt, he was a guy that could hit for average, hit for close to 300. Very good defensive center fielder. Not great. Didn't have a great arm. The only thing about Trout was I wish they would have let him run a little bit more when he was younger. He had 49 stolen bases as a rookie and then hardly ever stole after that. Like, this was a guy that should have been stealing 40 bases a year.
Absolutely.
I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know what happened. Like if they told him not to run, if he said he didn't want to run because they wanted him on the field, like, I mean, good grief. I mean, when you're young, use all your attributes, all your skills that you have. But Kevin Franzen told me a funny story. He said he's the only guy, and Franny played with him down in Anaheim. He goes, he's the only guy in baseball I've ever heard run. He goes, you could hear his feet hit the dirt. It's like a Clydesdale. Whoomp, 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 whoomp. But I mean, he's just, I mean, he may go down as Ernie Banks, one of the greatest players of all time, to not play in playoff games. Although Trout did play in 3, they got swept by the Royals. That was fun. But I mean, it's 7 years in a row. He's either first in MVP voting or second in MVP voting. And I thought about Mantle there, but I never saw Mantle play. But I'm gonna go Trout in center field.
Yeah, and the thing is, all these guys, we're taking them in their prime. We're not taking Trout.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, we're taking and Trout in his prime was an absolute revelation, like you say. He was a lot like Mantle. There's something about him reminded people of Mantle, the great power, the great speed, and that's a hell of a pick. I don't think a lot of people would do it because he's out a little bit off the radar. But talk about guys in their prime, so that scares me. I'm scared now. So let's see here. I think I'm gonna go back to the mound with the number 2 guy. The number 2 guy I want after Kofax in the big game, and that's Bob Gibson. Oh
my goodness.
Bob Gibson, unassailable pick. I mean, if you're up there facing him and he needs it bad, big trouble. Unbelievable fastball, mean temperament, sliding the pitch from one dugout to the other. Just what? I mean, but the temperament. This guy, he played an entire season without leaving the mound during an inning. A couple times the manager would go out and Gibson go, "What are you doing here?" "Oh, I'm just going to go chat with this guy over here." Just he made something up. He doesn't know what he's doing out there either. You don't take Gibson out of a game. Never did he have to walk off the field during an inning. I mean, that's just part of it. But Gibson, if you saw him when it mattered, forget it. He's my guy.
Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm gonna take a picture here, and maybe my favorite pitcher to watch over the last 30 years or so. Now he's a newer guy, but he has the temperament of a guy like Gibson, a guy like Drysdale. He's like an old school guy, and he's nasty, and he has 4 pitches, maybe even 5 that he gets you out with. And he doesn't mind throwing down old ball guys by their heads. So I'm gonna go Pedro Martinez.
Oh yes. Oh my God.
As one of my pitchers. He may have been at his best in that 4 or 5 year window. He may have been the best pitcher I've ever seen. And I'm even including a guy I may take later on, but Pedro Martinez, I love the fact that he's all the new stuff. He's a little guy, he's a bulldog, and he was just mean. He did not care. It just if you hit his guy, he was going to hit your guy. If you didn't hit his guy, he might hit you anyway, just for looking at him wrong. Like he had that type of temperament, and man, he had the pitches to go along with it. So I'm going to go Pedro Martinez as my first pitcher.
One of the great baseball things, the beauty of the game, Pedro's arms were like noodles, and he was not a big guy. There wasn't one thing about him that would lead you to believe he could blow a fastball by somebody with ill intent. Anyone up there, he could dominate. It's wild. A great baseball thing. Love it. Love the pick. Fantastic. Let's see here. Oh man, I need another outfielder. I need a lot of things, but I'm going to put Ted Williams out and left. Okay.
Oh, jeez. You going Ted Williams? God dang.
The guy hit a legitimate 406. He was in doubt on the last day of the season. He plays both games and really hits 400, hits 406. I mean,
6 for 8 then doubleheader, right?
Yeah.
I mean, incredible.
Probably the greatest pure hitter of all time. I like those credentials. So there you go.
I mean, your outfield's absurd. Mays, Aaron Williams. I mean, good Lord.
I'll back him up with Ricky Henderson if we need something else.
Yeah. Ricky's not bad.
Yeah.
Ricky's not bad. Ricky's a guy I thought I mean, I still could take Ricky in the outfield. Boy, then my next pick is going to be is going to be tough because I could put Ricky in right. I do have an affinity for Tony Gwynn,
Mm-hmm.
One of my favorite players of all time. But I think, God, this is such a tough one. Okay, I mean, all due respect to Ricky Henderson and Tony Gwynn, who are, I mean, obviously incredible players. I'm gonna give my team a little international flair and go with Ichiro out in right field. Yeah, I thought I love Ichiro. I love his style. I love the fact. I mean, this guy. Everybody talks about his hitting skills, and he was a 200 hit machine, but he was a great outfielder. Had a rocket for an arm, and I could put him up there at leadoff in this order, and then just watch the merry-go-round go after that. So I mean, obviously you can't go wrong, but I'm gonna go Ichiro out in right field.
It's so great. I mean, this guy had a full, Cooperstown-like career in Japan. All kinds of numbers. You could retire. Then he comes here and does it all over again.
Yeah, I know. It's amazing.
I love watching him do anything because he wasn't like anybody else. His stretching routine or just the way he acted. And a total, talk about a unicorn. That there's a term that's, who's not a unicorn?
Yeah, everybody's a unicorn. There are no unicorns anymore.
This is the real thing here.
And I love the fact that Ichiro carried his bat in like a Minnesota Fats pool cue case. It's the best.
Yeah, he probably never broke that bat over a 100-game stretch.
He might not have.
That's a wonderful, wonderful pick. I love that pick. Okay, so third base, there's some obvious picks there. But I want to stick. I'm going to try and stick you to death. I'm going with George Brett.
Oh, no. I figured you wouldn't take him. Oh, you're killing me.
I'm at Yankee Stadium now at 1980 playoffs. Goose Goss is just out there. There's heat coming off the top of his helmet. He's cussing and swearing and just throwing 118 miles an hour. And Brett hit a 3-run homer into the upper deck to clinch that series for Kansas City. And everyone went quiet. I'm in the press box. I just, that's the greatest thing I've ever seen. That just is the greatest thing I've ever seen. And I've written this, but after the game, Reggie Jackson came over. The series is over now, and he went up to Brett. He goes, "How do you hit 390, man? How do you do that?" It's just like, who is this guy? I want him at third. Joe Brooks, of course, but for defense. But I love Brett, and boy, was he big and when it mattered.
That was one of my favorite players. Him and Carew were my favorite players. Growing up, and I just figured all right, I'll go third base then, because I figured you would take this next guy so I could like hang out on Brett and lay in the weeds there and get Brett, but I can't do that anymore. I got to go with Mike Schmidt. Mike Schmidt, defense, offense, power. He was kind of the engine of those great Philly teams back in the 80s. So I'm still very, very, very disappointed. I might not get over the fact that I don't even have George. I got to watch George Brett play against my team. That's very disheartening, Bruce. Very. Well,
there's no doubt Schmidt for the all the power of the defense. He's the guy. He has more power than anybody. Any of these guys.
Well, that's why I figured you'd take him.
It's just personal.
You didn't. You crossed me.
I know. No, it's personal. I just Brett moved my soul more than
me too. I love Brett. I had a Kansas City Royal batting helmet that I bought it. They used to sell the batting helmets at Toys R Us, where they said not for game use because you'll die if you go out there and actually get hit in the head with that thing on. And I had a little felt marker that I put a 5 on the back and go out there and play wiffle ball with my buddies. I mean, I love George Brett so much I would wear that helmet even though those little nubs were sticking down on my head. Like it hurt to wear that helmet, but I love George Brett, so I wore the helmet anyway.
Yeah. All right. Well, at first base, go pitch Drysdale because I'm going with McCovey.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. Obviously, there's a ton of great picks there. I feel like giving props to Mattingly and even Keith Hernandez, but Stan Musial, or Lou Gehrig. But I'm going with McCovey. No more fearsome hitter ever lived. Did you hear the guys who faced him? Mays would be at first base, and second base was a cakewalk for him to steal, but he wouldn't do it because now they're going to walk McCovey. I mean, why would I steal second when this guy's going to hit a howling screamer down the right field line? So that's my guy there. I'm going sticks once again. I got a lot of sticks, I got to tell you.
You do have you have a little bit of defense too. I'm hoping to maybe expose Williams out in the outfield.
Yeah, you got a couple holes you can work on.
Yeah, I got. All right.
I'm ahead.
Now that you've taken first base, I'll go first base. The guy that I loved watching play. Not as much watching him play for my team as the previous team because he wasn't nearly as good. But I'm going to go Pujols. Albert Pujols was like, it was a hitting machine, hit you over 300, hit you 30 plus home runs, drive in 100, play an excellent first base. I mean, just a guy, you never heard anything bad about him, but he was in the St. Louis years. I think the lowest OPS he had was like 890 or 860. It was incredible. Of course, the Angels signed him and he never got to that mark again, ever. Like his lowest OPS year with the Cardinals was higher than his highest OPS mark with the Angels. Which kind of sucked. Yeah, it's always nice signing guys when they're not going to do nearly. You're paying them for what they did with the other team. They're not going to do that well. Anyway,
so Angels, isn't it?
Yeah, I know it's so Angels. So yeah, I just think Albert Pujols. So maybe a little. No, I was going to say I thought maybe I was a little right-handed, but I got Morgan Bonds in an Ichiro, so I'm good there. I'll go Albert Pujols at first base.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about his numbers with the Cardinals are just scary, and they're talking about Aaron Judge now. Is this guy the greatest right-hand hitter of all time? Well, he's definitely in the mix now. But don't forget about Pujols in his prime, and that's what we're doing here.
Yep,
you can't have a better guy than Pujols in his prime. I don't know how you could improve on that kind of offense, though. Scary, Tom. You're a scary guy. Yeah. All right, so second base, I'm gonna go very personal here.
Okay.
This guy's gonna lead off for me, and you're gonna know we mean business. It's Jackie Robinson.
Ah, yeah. Great pick.
In his prime now. He's not even with the Dodgers, probably. He's still in Montreal, maybe.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. I think people don't even realize how good he was because of the social change he enacted, which was more important than his baseball career ultimately. But people don't realize how good he was because that's all you could talk about. And look, I'm not going to say they're wrong. I mean, rightfully so. But this guy was a hell of a ball player too.
Yeah, I just I can't see anything wrong with the pick. I mean, and this guy had been running track and playing football his whole life, and by the time he got to the Dodgers, his body had gone through a lot, but he's still a total force on the bases. He had some very good years, but the way that he stood up to what he had to face was miraculous. That he was the guy because he was the perfect guy to do that. Just for a lot of reasons. Again, I go here and I'm gonna put him at second base and feel pretty good about it.
Okay, I'm gonna go pitcher. And this one I'm stretching a little bit because I probably saw him a couple times when I was younger. But my other pitcher is probably going to be a righty. I wanted to get a lefty. You got a lefty on your staff. I'm going to go Steve Carlton with the Phillies. When when you have people say about you that the Phillies and I think this bore out to be true by win percentage. The Phillies were the worst team in the National League.
Yeah.
When anybody other than Steve Carlton pitched. When Steve Carlton pitched, they were the best team in the National League. I mean, this guy's slider was incredible, and I just remember him. And again, you didn't get all the games back then. You get to watch him a little bit, but I just remember thinking, and I was probably only 10, 11, thinking, God, this guy is just different than most guys out there on the mound. So kind of I mean, I could go a lot of different directions there. I don't know if he would definitely be up there for most people, but I'm going to go Steve Carlton.
Well, the guy's he's like, geez, the guy won 27 games. That must have been a hell of a team. Well, they were just last, okay?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it was a terrible team, and oh my God, yeah, he was really, really wonderful. Yeah, it's so funny when the Giants actually got him way too late, but he was a Giant for a while. It's like Duke Snyder was a Giant for a while. Weird. Behind the plate, I want to take Josh Gibson. It's a little obscure because he never played in the bigs. I think if these guys are out on the field and they're all in their prime and they're doing what they're doing, I think you'd probably go that way. But because it's a little obscure, I'm going to go Thurman Munson.
Oh, another winner.
Saw him play an awful lot. Watched people in the stands move to tears by the tapes of him after he was, out of the game, but getting up with his horrible sore shoulder and throwing guys out. And when Bench had that epic series in '76, Munson was right with him statistically. They went back and forth, big hits, and I just love that guy. He didn't play long enough, and he once threw a towel in my face because he didn't like my question, but I still love it.
Oh, that is great. I love it. All right, I don't have to go shortstop here since you already have one. I'll go pitcher. Maybe my favorite pitcher of all time because he played for one of the teams that is my favorite team. I like guys that have nasty in them, and this guy had as much nasty in him as anybody that's ever pitched in Major League Baseball, and may have had the fastest fastball of anybody that's ever pitched in Major League Baseball. I know he has the record for least hits given up per 9 innings. Unfortunately for him, the walks would come back to get him occasionally. But this guy has 7, not 2, not 3, not 6, 7 no-hitters.
Yeah.
7. He struck out over 5,000 batters. I'm going Nolan Ryan because I'm telling you what, when Nolan Ryan isn't walking guys, which wasn't all the time, but when he was a no-hitter waiting to happen. The 7 no-hitters is one of the most absurd things that nobody talks about it a lot, but it's a joke that somebody has 7 no-hitters, and you look at the time that spanned from the first one to the last one is something like 20 years or so. It's ridiculous. And again, if you look at him cross-eyed, he might put one in your back. So I'm going to go Nolan Ryan.
Oh my goodness. I mean, you talk about this is probably the greatest arm ever bestowed on a human being.
Yeah.
I was reading up on him the other day, and he was throwing heat when he was 7. People are going, wow,
was it
really? There weren't any travel teams that didn't limit his innings, so he wound up pitching 4 million innings, okay? And mean and just, boy, talk about not wanting to face it. So many guys I don't even know why I'm up here. Remember when Norm Cash went up to the plate with a piano leg one time. I don't know if it might have been Nolan.
A piano leg.
I think it was right, yeah.
Oh, that's hilarious. Okay, looks like you have what? One more pitcher?
Yeah, I'm going to go.
And then a closer.
I'll tell you who I hate to bypass. Louis Tiant, Madison Bumgarner, J.R. Richard, Denny McClain, in case the mob's involved.
Oh, yeah.
Denny knows all those guys, so that won't be a problem. But it's got to be Marichal. Marichal was unbelievably masterful year after year. Had all the he was the guy who had like 7 pitches from 7 angles, like way before anybody else, and just everything about him. Today's pitchers, they stand the man like this and they throw the ball. They might as well be a statue. Here you go.
Yeah.
And it's everywhere. It's pervasive. Marichal, talk about the flip side of that. His foot was up on the ceiling.
I know.
Down here, he's going to come here. He's going to come here. I mean, and you couldn't hit him. And talking lots of respect. He's not like Nolan Ryan, but in his way, and his numbers bear it out. And I think the Giants fans will appreciate it. I'm going to go with Marichal.
No, absolutely. That's a great pick. All right, shortstop. Most important position on the field. You need someone out there every day. I'm going to go with a guy that was out there every day for damn near his entire career. I got Cal Ripken Jr. Cal Ripken Jr. was a great defensive.
Yes,
he kind of led the charge. He kind of led the charge as oversized shortstops. Because before him, all the shortstops were these little dudes with great gloves and batted like 220, 227. And after Ripken, it's like, oh, okay, some of these guys can play short. Some of these bigger than we can get some pop at shortstop. Exactly. And after Ripken, it was again A-Rod was there, Garcia Parra was there. I'm missing some others, but Jeter was there. I got to say,
Cruz was there for a while.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
no, you took Jeter because I think Jeter's the ultimate winner, but you can't go wrong with Cal Ripken Jr. So I'll go Ripken Jr.
Yeah, the night they honored him when he broke Gehrig's record for consecutive games played, I was in Baltimore that night, and it was a great outpouring of affection. And Cal was obviously quite a bit older, not playing short, but he hit one out that night. He homered. I mean, good grief! Just everybody.
I know, it's amazing.
Man for the moment. and great guy to watch. That was my time covering ball when he was in his prime, and he put on a show on the home run hitting contest years ago. It was like a machine was up there. It was so beautiful to watch.
Yeah. All right, we need closers.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you get to pick first.
Well, I've got 4 guys on here. I've got Gossage, I've got Fingers, and I've got the greatest probably of all time, Rivera, Mario Rivera. I'm going Eck.
Oh, you're going Eck. Wow.
Yeah.
I should have put Kirk Gibson on my team. Oh my gosh. Eckersley with the point.
Yeah. And he was a starter for a long time, and when he did get to the bullpen, he was scary. I mean, unbelievable control and great attitude. Tremendous attitude out there. Like, I'm coming at you, and I'll yell at you after I struck you out. And I still can't believe he walked Mike Davis. That was the first guy he'd walked since like
I know. Oops.
Yeah.
All right, how can I not go Rivera? I mean, I figured you'd take Rivera. You didn't. I was going to take Trevor Hoffman. Maybe the greatest changeup coming out of the bullpen of all time. But I go Mariano Rivera. All right. So to recap for the people out there, Bruce's team was, I mean, the outfield is just silly, but here's his team. I'll give him to you in the order he drafted him. In center field, Willie Mays. In right field, Hank Aaron. Shortstop, Derek Jeter. Left field, Ted Williams. Third base, George Brett. That one hurt. First base, Willie McCovey. Jackie Robinson at second base. Thurman Munson at catcher. The staff will be Kofax, Gibson, and Marichal. Oof. And then Eckersley will close it out. Mine is second base, Joe Morgan. Left field, Bond. Center field, bench. Our catcher, bench. Center field, Trout. Right field, Ichiro. Third base, Schmidt. First base, Pujols. Shortstop, Cal Ripken Jr. Mariano Rivera will be the closer, and my staff will be Pedro Martinez, Steve Carlton, and Nolan Ryan. How'd you like that? 7
chances all of a sudden.
7-game series. Oh my gosh! The one thing I think, I think you have a little more pop, I think, in your lineup than I do. I mean, the outfield's just ridiculous. I mean, Mays, Aaron, and Williams. You can't beat that. The one thing, because you know this better than I do. I know Williams wasn't a very good defender. How is Aaron as a defender?
Oh, very good. Tremendous.
That's what I thought.
Sure-handed, ball hawk.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you bet. Good arm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're just going to have to hit a lot of balls at Williams is what we're going to have to do. Because there's not a lot of defensive weakness out there on either side. I don't know that I have a weak link on defense, because I got Bonds, Trout, Ichiro. I got speed to burn out in the outfield. Bench may have been the best defensive catcher of all time, although Yadi Molina might have something to say about that. Joe Morgan, Schmidt, Pujols, and the infield along with Cal Ripken Jr. So that'd be a hell of a 7-game series right there.
We got to bust out the Stratomatic now.
That's I was just gonna say the same thing. I was just gonna say the same thing. That is fantastic. All right. Then the next time the next one we do will be a little shorter, but I do want to get to some Warrior questions. For where are you at on the Warriors right now? Presumably they're going to sign Al Horford and DeAnthony Melton. We hardly knew you. We'll bring you back and see how this go around goes. But that seems to be the prevailing wisdom. They're just kind of waiting on the Jonathan Kuminga situation to sort itself out, if it ever does. But where are you at with them right now in terms of where they're at with the big three of Butler, Steph, and Draymond? And then, in the landscape of the West, where you have the Thunder, who are young, talented, probably going to be just as good next year. Denver, I think, did a really nice job in free agency. They got better. Houston did a hell of a job. I think they got better. Like I mean, that's a no-brainer, that trade, because Jalen Green, as athletic as he is, again, I don't know that he makes enough winning basketball plays.
Right,
Dylan Brooks. Yeah, Dylan Brooks is just okay now. So, I mean, that's a hell of a trade for them. So the West just keeps getting better and better and better. the Clippers are getting older. I don't know if they're better or not. They may be better. I like the Lakers go out and get Marcus Smart, which I think is a really, really good. If he can still play, I haven't seen him play in a couple of years because they just shelf him or he's hurt. But if he can get out and play defense like he did 3 years ago when he won the Defensive Player of the Year,
big.
I mean, you know, yeah, he's the guy you put on all the guys that LeBron can't keep up with or Doncic can't keep up with. Now, granted, the NBA is all about screen you until you get the guy you want on you, but still, that'd be a huge pickup for him. I'm not an Ayton guy, but I think Ayton could help them somewhat. But where are the Warriors in this landscape for you right now?
Well, the thing is, every team we're talking about has done something, and not just something, but something really quite notable. You know, the Clippers brought in Brook Lopez too, and Lord knows OKC didn't really have to do anything, but Denver and Houston, big moves. The conference is really just gigantic, is what it is in terms of size, which has been a problem for the Warriors. They're not, to say the least, they're not getting any bigger. And Horford, at his age, is not going to be a badass guy down low. I love his shooting, I love his character. He's a winner. There'll be nights when he's tremendous, but you know, just to stop the other team down low when you need some rim protection, you need some tough rebounding. You know, I don't know where it really comes from compared to what they're going to be up against. And you know, the so-called supporting cast. I love Podziemski. He's flawed, but he's got a lot of character, a lot of style, a lot of swagger. The rest of the guys you can just put in a heap for me, including Buddy Hield, you know, Post and Santos. Come on, I mean, this is why they haven't done much, because there's not much they can do. They're not going to trade the big three. If they do trade Kuminga, I'm afraid they don't get as much as they probably thought they would a couple of years ago. If they don't trade him, and Kuminga, you know, we all like his talent, but he's thinking, all right, 2 more years of Curry, Green, and Butler, who I apparently can't work with. So I'm going to go through that, and then after that, maybe I blossom as a player. It's kind of a damning situation. So I don't know. They haven't done anything, and I don't know what they would do, actually. What's your insight on Kuminga? Do you think they'd trade him or keep him?
Well, there's different factions inside the organization. I think that some would like to keep him. Some would like to see him move on. And I think he just doesn't fit with Steph, because Steph and the whole team, and Steph's out there, is predicated on ball movement, screening, and moving. And, you know, ultimately either trying to get Steph a shot, which is always a good idea, or letting his gravity open things up for other players. And Kuminga's the guy, when he catches the ball, it's catch, hold it, face, and then look, and then go one-on-one and dribble. And the thing the problem that I've always had, and I agree with you, I think he's very talented. He can do some things. There's no doubt about it. But he's a lot like Wiggins in that the game doesn't come easy to him.
That's right.
He has to think for a beat before he does something, instead of just doing it because it's instinctual for him. Somebody cuts, okay, I got to be here. Pick and roll's coming over. Let's not wait till it gets here to realize what we have to do. How we playing this? Let me put myself in position. Ball goes up. I'm on the weak side as the ball's in the air. Let me run in there and try to find that crevice, or I can box the guy out, pin him. So if it goes over his head, he waits until it hits the rim to start heading in instead of as the ball. So I don't know. I whatever they do, and like I don't think he wants to be here anymore, because I think he thinks he's better than he is right now, and at least he wants a chance to prove he's better than he is. And I don't think on this timeline with Steph and Jimmy and Draymond that he fits that. The problem is stupid NBA contracts that these guys all, you know, the CBA. It's like the base years and this and that. It's like, can't we just make it simple for everybody? It's a contract.
You can't trade a guy for another guy. How about that?
I know. It's like, let's just can't we just figure out a way to get this done? Like, I hate all. And while I'm at it, Bruce, let's stop trading players for picks that are attached to, I want it top 10 protected or top 4 protected. No, either trade the pick or don't trade the pick. You want to make the deal, trade the pick. We got your first round pick. You got our player. We're not giving you top 3 protection. If you suck, that's on you. We're going to take the pick. We're going to draft high. I'm just tired. Oh, and then if you don't get it the second year, then it's a second rounder that conveys a third year to like 14 third rounders, which don't exist anymore, but you got them.
Yeah.
They make it hard to like follow along. Like, what the hell is going on with all this stuff? First apron, second apron, third, whatever.
Well, the third apron's got spaghetti sauce all over it if you're handy in the kitchen. But I mean, fans read Warriors involved in a 17 blockbuster.
Yeah, exactly.
The two guys they drafted. That's who they got. What the hell? Didn't they already have them?
Apparently not.
No, it's hopelessly complicated. You know, I think Adam Silver would have hated the Magic and Bird era, because how do you dismantle both of those teams?
You know? Exactly. You don't want to keep those guys together.
No,
I mean, for heaven's sakes.
Yeah.
Sorry, Celtics. Got to choose between McHale and Bird. You can't have both of them. You got to.
Yeah.
It's so dumb too. It's like, why can't we come up with a system that rewards teams for drafting and developing? And if you get it right and you sign those guys to big contracts like the Thunder just did, you should be able to count that as like 70 cents on the dollar to the salary cap or whatever it is. If you trade for a guy or it's a free agent, okay, totally get it. That's 100% of whatever you sign him to. But we're penalizing these teams for being smart, doing it the right way. And then at some point, we're going to say, you're going to have to make a decision. You can't keep your team together because you've done too good, and we don't want you to do too good because we want everyone else to get their slice of the pie. It's just weak owners who aren't it's weak owners who aren't smart enough, don't know how to hire, and feel like they're never going to win if they don't put something like this in place. You're not winning because of the rules. You're not winning because you're dumb. You don't know what you're doing. These guys do know what they're doing. Stop penalizing these teams and know what they're doing. It just drives me nuts.
Yeah, the great contrast. The Warriors snuck under the gun before all this got really crazy, because they did draft all, and they weren't able to keep their guys. And meanwhile, they were able to get Livingston and Iguodala through smarts. You know, they did everything right. They didn't. Durant was a free agent, but he was like a luxury. But they built the team the right way. You couldn't argue the way they did it. And the contrast now, the Celtics. I don't even know who's at center now. I mean, who's playing anywhere? That team's been totally dismantled. I mean, Simon's in there, and I can't even follow. You know, Derek White's going to be the guy to lead them to another title. I don't know, but they were forced to break up a really good team, a cohesive team. I didn't like the way they played, but you can't argue the title, right? And now they're just in the middle of the pack.
You mean you don't like drive, draw, kick, shoot at three, drive, draw, kick, shoot at three, drive, draw, shoot at three. I mean, 53 is a game, Bruce. You don't like that?
I love the night where they missed like 49 threes.
Exactly.
It's like it's lazy. It's lazy basketball. Don't call me that smart. They're
really
lucky everybody could shoot a three, which that's very rare in the history of the league. I don't know if you had 5 guys who could really shoot from way out there, but it's incredible. I couldn't watch them. I found them unwatchable. They really did.
I'm with you. And what made them different than anybody else? You had 5 guys who, I don't think one of them was a great 3-point shooter, but they had 5 a little bit more than competent 3-point shooters, but they could all play defense. So they could switch everything too. You couldn't target anybody on the defensive end, and that's what really separated them. But I said this I don't know, a year or two ago because I don't mind analytics. I hate being painted, and I hate when people say, well, either you're an analytics guy or not. Like, no, you don't have to be. And analytics were around before the word analytics was being used in sports. It's stats, and you accumulate stats and you try to figure out the best way to go about it. But the problem I had, and I said this, I get that each team wants to be efficient. And analytics, they think, helps them do that, and they want to win games. But where does entertainment come into play in all this? Like, if I'm a singular team, I'm more concerned with winning than I am entertainment. But if I'm a league, this is how we sell our product. I mean, we have to be entertaining, and everything's so vanilla now. In not so much football, though they got their analytics, but that's a whole different deal. But baseball and basketball, everything kind of looks the same. Now you don't have like you had right, in the 80s, where you had a team that was a pitching team, a team that was a power team, a team that was a running team, like the Cardinals. Everyone's the same. Let's lift the ball and let's get a whole bunch of guys that have a high spin rate, strike guys out. Let's get guys that hit the ball in the air so it stays off the ground. And in the NBA, it's all about, okay, let's shoot a whole bunch of threes and try to get to the free throw line and maybe get layups. It's like I feel like I'm watching the same team. Like nobody has a different personality, different characteristic than the other team.
I mean, your man Steve Kerr, and I love the guy too. You can't ever believe that the mid-range shot is worth nothing. It just baffles him that's
I know.
You shouldn't shoot from
incredible.
You kidding? I mean, what are you going to cast off from 30 and hit the back of the board? I mean, yeah, it's
that's what it is.
The thing about baseball analytics, it's fascinating to me, is that you have a whole generation of people who didn't get close to the game, didn't play the game, weren't able to stand around the batting cage like us lucky writers were.
Yep.
Brian Saban, guys who just knew the game, scouts. They didn't have any of that, and they've found a way to watch the game and analyze the game strictly through numbers, not with any kind of feel for entertainment. No. Or this guy is going to do this. You may not think it's all about yesterday. Yesterday, how will it translate in today? And I find it sad, but it also enables a lot of people to follow the game. It's kind of sickening in a way, but they can follow the game just on that, and they love it, and they're totally in the game, so good for them. But it shouldn't be pervasive to the point where the homogenization of the game takes over, and that's where I think it goes so terribly wrong. I mean, to think that a guy looking at a piece of paper knows more than a guy who's been pounding minor league stadiums his whole life and knows a face, knows a gesture, knows an attitude, knows a family, just by looking at the person.
Yeah, my favorite was, and I still remember this, is when Blake Snell was pitching the one hitter against the Dodgers in the playoffs, and that was, I believe, the one they won in Texas during COVID. And he had a one hitter going, I think through 6, and Cash took him out because, third time through the lineup and everything. It was interesting, though, that I go, well, what analytics are you using? Because the ones I looked at says that Betts hits better off right-handed hitting this year than he does left-handed hitting. So are you just picking and choosing your analytics? And are you using your eyes at all? Or does the computer in the dugout just start going, whoop, whoop, whoop? And the only way to get it to stop is to take Snell out. Like, we can't, okay, screw it. I don't want to listen to that anymore. Let's get Snell out of there.
Yeah.
And then, of course, they take him out and they go on to lose. But that's just one example of people and managers and coaches using the analytics because, one, I think it's safe. It's very easy at the end of the game to go, well, that's what the numbers say. The numbers said this, and I don't have to think about it. My gut doesn't come into play. And I think it's a reason managers and coaches, a lot of these guys, this is more baseball than basketball, but a little bit in basketball, guys are getting hired and not being paid a ton of money early on because they wouldn't have got this job if it wasn't for a team saying, hey, we're going to let you coach or manage our team. We need you to run the clubhouse or the locker room. We'll handle the in-game stuff. We're going to handle the matchups. We're going to handle this. We don't need you to worry about any of that. So just put on a uni, make sure everybody's on time, make sure the clubhouse is under control, and we're good. It baffles me.
But it's based on fear of screwing up because you went against the numbers and then what are you doing? And I miss, Boshi saying, screw it, I'm going to let Lincecum go 140 pitches. He says, well, look at him. Look what he's doing. I mean, I'm not going to take Bumgarner out here. I don't care if he's thrown 150 pitches. Stuff like that is just to think that if you throw 95 pitches, you're good, but 102, then your arm's going to fall off. And the thing is,
there's the other magic number out there.
None of the pitching dictums today are working worth the damn. The injuries are up. Everybody's had at least one Tommy John. Everybody's throwing 100 when they're 12, and then they're out for a couple of years, and they come back. And the injury, it's an epidemic. They have the first clue how to get endurance out of pitchers. It's just as bad as it ever been. and you look back in days gone by, you can't compare it, but guys, they always pitch. They pitched in the offseason. To me, the big thing about injuries is that in days gone by, you had a fastball and you had a curve, maybe a changeup, but you didn't have 7 pitches and each one had a different grip and a different torque on your arm. That's hell.
Yeah.
Like John Smoltz said on the air one time, if you just threw fastballs, you could throw 120 pitches like you were in your sleep, or 130.
Yeah.
But once you start mixing in all these different torques on your arm, man, that's dangerous. It's going to be sensational when they're all working, but 5 years later, you're in the hospital.
Yeah. I always wondered how a guy would do if he just threw a 4-seamer, 2-seamer, cutter, changeup.
Mm-hmm.
Gives you 4 pitches, moves both ways, maybe even maybe a sinker in there if you wanted to. Like I know the sinker and 2-seamer are similar, but if you just had those pitches and you were good enough, you could probably get by. But it's just, I just, it's just one of those things where I look at and say, how do we get here? I guess maybe it's a small market thing where we need an edge, and how do we get an edge? And I know it, Moneyball was one of the things in Oakland where they I don't know if they started it there, but it's funny too. Great movie. They kind of forgot about the pitching staff they had on that team too. It kind of helped.
How can you help them that?
Kind of helped them win a little bit, I think, but who knows? Maybe they didn't.
I didn't want to read the book or see the movie. Of course, Tejada and Giambi weren't on the team either.
Yeah, exactly. Look, we're winning with this ragtag. Oh yeah, you only had Mulder and Hudson and Zito. I don't know if Harden was there yet, but it's like, they had a little something to do.
That had a lot to do with it.
Yeah, no doubt. Man. All right, let's do this. This is gonna be fun now. Let's do our basketball team.
Okay.
We'll do a starting 5, and we'll do a 3-man bench. We don't need more bench guys on our filling out our roster.
You get the first pick on this one. I had the first pick last time.
Oh god dang. Okay, you know what? I'll go Jordan.
Yeah.
I mean Michael Jordan. I mean, he's just the ultimate competitor, the ultimate winner, a guy I want on my team in literally any era. It's funny, people go, well, how would he do today? He didn't shoot the 3. I'm like, well, let me tell you something.
Oh my God.
Let me tell you something. If he had to, if he wanted that to be a part of his game, he would. But the way they play defense now, he'd go to the free throw line 18 times a game. He was just incredible, absolutely incredible, a force of nature. And so I'll go Michael Jordan to start off.
Yeah, I love what LeBron's done in his career. It's truly remarkable. It's almost not even real. But to say that he was as good a pure basketball player as Jordan,
come on,
you got to be kidding. Why? How does that even come up?
No.
I mean,
no.
Every single facet of the game, Jordan was superior, and you played against him, and so Lord knows, if anyone knows. And I covered a lot of his finals, and it's just. But of course, well, my now that you've got Jordan, I'm going to take Bill Russell because I want to win.
Yeah.
Bill Russell, between college, the Olympics, and the pros, was in 20 games where his team could be eliminated and sent home. 20-0.
That's not bad.
15 years, but also, I grew up in LA as a Celtics fan because of him and Sam Jones. Don't ask me why. I love their style of play. That's the 3-on-1 fast break, and they throw up 2 passes. I mean, they were so selfless, and they loved each other. They were always the same guys. And once you hooked on to Russell as a guy that you wanted to win, man, you were living large. I lived large for years, just soaking up what Russell did. So he's my center.
No, you can't go wrong with that. Well, I'm going to go another Celtic here, and I'm going to go Larry Bird. And I hated Larry Bird in the 80s. Lakers are my team. That was my squad, live and die with the Lakers back in the 80s. And Bird was it was so good. Oh. I mean, passing and shooting and handling. Now, defensively, He could be taken advantage of, but I'll have some other guys on the team that can help out with defense. But I mean, this guy was, and he was a killer, an absolute killer, a winner. Like anything, like that's one of the reasons he had to retire early. He played so damn hard, his body just couldn't take it anymore. And he was, before guys had great off hands. The one highlight of him on the right side, shooting from the right wing, knowing he's going to miss it right away, hits the front of the rim. He catches it in the air, switches it to the left hand because he's going behind the backboard and shoots it and makes it. I mean,
that's Houston in the finals, right?
Yes. Yeah. It was so silly that he would do stuff like that.
Yeah.
Then the drop passes to Chief, the drop passes to McHale. Bird steals the ball. That type of anticipation against the Pistons in Game 5 or 6 it was in the Boston Garden was, and then not only to steal it, but to have the presence of mind to know Dennis Johnson's coming right behind him and he feeds him for the layup and they win the game. Just absurd. I mean, he was just so good, so smart, so tough, and just the ultimate winner. So I'm going to go with Bird on my team.
And an entertainer of the highest order.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, man, yeah, he would have been the first forward I picked, no question. I'm going to get my point guard settled with Magic.
Okay.
Yeah. And every point guard today is like among the leading scorers in the league. They're really shooting guards, you name it. On down the line, Tyrese Maxey, Shea, Lillard, all these guys are listed as point guards, and they're all more shooters more than anything. But Magic, the way Magic orchestrated a fast break, and I've got Russell, who's getting the rebound and was a genius at starting a fast break, getting it started. That was his whole mentality. Now I've got Magic out there, and that plays in any era. If you see, there was nobody ever like him before, but nobody since running a break like Magic. Do you agree?
I absolutely agree. Got Byron Scott on one wing, James Worthy on the other wing. I mean, it was saw over the whole defense.
Yeah.
And he was a guy that I think if he wanted to could have averaged 27, 28 without a jump shot, mind you. I mean, he couldn't shoot a jump shot. He had like a little set shot that he would shoot from 3 and even from like 17, 18 feet, but the rebounding, the passing, and again, just the ultimate winner, just a leader, a guy that knew how to win. And you know what? I think, the first 4 guys we picked, we could say that. And there's a lot of guys that have talent that I could say, I'll take that guy, I'll take this guy. But in the immortal words of Mike Singletary, I want winners. So
and George, Magic was also the consummate entertainer. Yeah, you
my God,
the hell out of people over here.
Exactly. Okay, we'll go with. Oh man. Okay, I'm gonna have to figure out. Like, I'm gonna need some versatility on this team, but I got to go with a guy that gets overlooked as maybe one of the greatest players of all time. Because while everyone's comparing Jordan and LeBron, how do people forget about Kareem and how good Kareem was? I mean, it's absurd. People don't realize how good this guy was.
Yeah.
And I understand. Like, look, back when he was dominating with UCLA, all the games aren't on TV and all that kind of stuff. Then he goes to the Bucks. It's Milwaukee. No one's really following Milwaukee. Then he comes to the Lakers, and he was winning MVPs, but the Lakers were terrible. Lakers weren't very good back then. And by the time he started winning championships when Magic came aboard, he was getting a little bit older, but he still had some dominant games in the playoffs and the regular season. And by the way, I was going to say, when you pick Magic, still to this day, Game 6 in Philadelphia in 1980, the best playoff performance of all time in my mind. Rookie,
not by a rookie, but by anyone.
Yep, by playing at a position, at center, scoring 42 points, getting 15 rebounds and 7 assists. I mean, now that was I was going nuts. I was like, what was I at the time, 15 or whatever? I was like, oh, this thing, look at Magic. And people forget too, I think Jamal Wilkes had 37 in that game, but Magic was awesome.
That's
but
right.
Kareem, to me, the most unstoppable shot in the history of the game.
Yep.
A rebounder.
Yeah.
A guy that could pass out of a double team. Tremendous guy, tremendous blocking shots and affecting shots near the rim. Super intelligent, obviously. So I'm going Kareem at center.
What amazed me about him is that, when you think about the mechanics of that shot, this wasn't like a sweet Hallbrook two-hook shot. This was a wrist job from 10, 12, 15, 18 feet.
Yeah. And
very difficult. Nobody else has ever done it, for one.
Nope.
Of course, it's boring. You don't want it's like Shaq won't shoot an underhand free throw because, it looks like a girl.
Yeah, exactly.
But by the way, unstoppable and also extremely hard to do. Took a tremendous coordination of the fingers. The release of that shot is mind blowing. But
yeah.
Anyway, speaking of mind blowing shooting, I'm going to go Curry now.
I figured since you had Magic, you killing me there.
I got the perfect backcourt. I got the greatest playmaker and the greatest shooter.
Oh no! I was going to take Steph there. I go, he's not going to take Steph. They already got a point guard. Oh, you're killing me.
Steph's a shooting guard. Give me a break. He's a shooting guard. You can't be the greatest shooter of all time and not be a shooting guard.
Oh man. He was going to compliment my team nicely. I was going to have Bird on one wing, Curry on the other wing, and Jordan going down the middle. It's over.
Yeah, it still might be over.
That's a great pick. He's so good. And the thing I love about him, Bruce, is out of all the guys we've mentioned before him, you could see greatness coming. For Bird, Kareem, Russell, Magic, maybe not Jordan as much. You could see like he was going to be really good, but no, I mean, of course, no one knows you're going to be the best player of all time. But Curry was a guy at Davidson who you thought, maybe he'll win a couple 3-point shooting contests, maybe make a couple all-star teams. And here he is, 15 years later, one of the greatest players of all time and revolutionizing the game, the greatest outside shooter in the history of the game. Now, obviously, I love that pick. I wish I had it.
Oh man!
All right. I mean, I got to go LeBron. I mean, I think that to me, there's no question Jordan is the better ball player. But I mean, if you want to go longevity, he's had the longest prime. Him and Tom Brady have had the two longest primes in their careers of anybody. It is. He's still insane. The guy averaged almost 25 points last year, and he's still getting it done. He's unlike anybody I've ever seen in the open court. The guy's a 6'8", 260 freight train that you just cannot stop. His long range shooting has gotten better as he's gotten older. Defensively, he was as tough as they got when he was younger. Not quite as much the last 5 or so years. And the thing I love most about LeBron is he plays the game the right way. There's so many times in his career, people would get on him for not forcing a shot, not shooting it, not keeping the ball in his hands. And he simply just said, well, that's not the right basketball play. This guy came off the double team, and that guy was wide open in the corner. So I gave him the ball. That was the right basketball play. And he took a lot of crap for that. And I always appreciated that, like the way he saw the game and the way he played the game. I know it was in the Eastern Conference, but 11 straight finals appearances. And I think LeBron's incredible. So, I mean, with LeBron and Bird
on the team, me in the front court.
I may have the two best passing forwards of all time.
Yeah, I can't match that. Those are the two forwards on my all-time team. So I gotta come up with something here. This goes a way back, but I'm going to put Elgin Baylor.
Oh yeah,
Elgin Baylor played a long time ago, but he was the first guy to really go airborne, and he wasn't just sort of kidding around. I mean, he could sky. He had all kinds of shots with one hand, bank shots, reverse bank shots. He scored 63 points against the best Celtics team you ever saw in the Garden. He could rebound. His rebounding numbers were insane. And he was just he was a complete revelation. And he's forgotten about. But I'm not a big Karl Malone fan. Tim Duncan, he was a center. Popovich always said, Tim Duncan's a center. Okay, whatever you want to call him, he's our center. So I don't know who I put there. Rick Barry, man, you want to talk about an all-around player who could pass. But I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go Baylor. I'm sorry. For one of my forwards. Yeah.
You got okay. Wow, that's okay. So I kind of need someone in the. I mean, that's the great thing about having LeBron. I could have someone in the backcourt. I could have LeBron play point guard for me if I want to.
Yeah, sure.
he could just slide over and play point guard, and we're all good. I could go another big here. I feel like defensively I'm in pretty good shape, but if I want to have one more guy out there, oh my gosh. And then this will be the starting five. Then we'll have a 3-man bench. Like I'm going to take someone on the bench that I think will fit in nicely on this team, but I can't take them in the starting five because I think there'd be a conflict there. There may be a fight for the ball, and I don't need that. I don't need guys fighting. I don't need guys fighting for the ball. Oh, I could go Stockton here, but I'm trying to figure out where I want to put LeBron. I could put him in a forward, but if I'm going to take another point guard, oh no, you know who I'm going to take? I got one. I don't even know if he's a top 10 guy in the league, but I feel like shooting, I may be a little lax. I got Bird. I got Jordan, who's more of a mid-range guy. LeBron's better at shooting with a little bit of range, but he's more of a in-between, get to the rim guy. I'm going to take Kevin Durant. I have Kevin Durant on the team. I mean, I'll stretch the court with Durant. And
is he going to start or is he off the bench?
Oh no, he's going to start. So my starters will be. Look, I'm kind of cheating a little bit because I'm sliding LeBron to point guard. Because I think he's played point guard enough in his career that he could do that. I'll have Jordan at 2 guard. I'll have Durant at 3, Bird at 4, and Kareem at 5.
Yeah,
I'm cheating a little bit because Bird's a 3 more than he is a 4. But by today's standards, I think he could easily play. He might play 5 in today's game.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if this is going to make too much sense when you look at my team, but I need shooting, I need defense, I need a competitor and a half, and I'm taking Kobe Bryant, and I'll figure it out later.
Oh, see, that's who I was thinking about taking, and I was like, I don't know if I can have Kobe and Jordan on the court at the same time.
Yeah,
I'm not sure exactly how that would work out, but
true, yeah,
he was going to be my first bench guy, Kobe Bryant. Yeah, he is. He may be the most competitive guy on this list so far.
Yeah.
No, I loved watching Kobe play. I mean, just the defense, the fight, the desire. He may have been the toughest guy to play with on this list too, because I think he was ultra intelligent.
Yeah, very demanding.
I think part of him couldn't figure out how come guys didn't do what he did to get ready for a game. It's like, bro, no one's built like you. No one has a drive that you do. Like, that's why you are who you are, because you're able to do those sort of things. But I think he kind of expected that of everybody else, and that's the drive that made him the player he was. But no, I think you're right. Kobe Bryant's incredible. Kobe Bryant. I might it's going to be that'd be an interesting starting 5 because we don't really have like a great rebound. Like, our rebounders are a little bit.
Well, I got one of the all-time greats, but I only have the one really. Baylor's a good. It'd be interesting to see how Baylor.
Yeah.
I got 2 pretty good rebounders at the time, 2 of the best in the league for sure.
Yeah, I mean, Kareem's a good rebounder, not a great rebounder, but then I got 3 guys who are pretty good rebounders for their position. Like Jordan, Bird, and LeBron probably all average between 6 and 9, 10 rebounds. Bird probably had a few years where he's in double digits. Durant, not much of a rebounder, but he's one of the greatest snipers the game has ever known. And
wow,
we saw him when he was with the Warriors when he really wanted to.
Yeah,
he could play some defense.
Oh, totally.
He could have on defense.
Yeah.
All right, now, so I got scoring. What I need here in the second unit is some defense. I need guys who can play defense against multiple players. I need a little bit of switchability on my team. This is going to be a surprise pick, I would think, but I'm going to go Kevin Garnett, KG, who may be the best, maybe the most versatile defender that I've ever seen. I mean, the guy literally could guard 5 through 1, and you want to talk about a competitor. This guy was like an ultra angry competitor. The only thing I hate, about KG is I think he's the guy that started the whole, if somebody shoots it after the buzzer, you go knock it away before it gets to the rim. And God, I hate that. It drives me nuts.
Yeah, come on.
And I think he started that crap. But you know what? I'm the coach. I'll just tell him, don't do that crap. Don't do that. Okay, we don't want that on this team. We don't do that on this team.
That's right.
And then he'll get in my face, and I'll go, okay, KG, do what you want to do. But I'll go Kevin Garnett as my my Swiss Army knife coming off the bench.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to take a guy. I don't think he solved some of the problems we've been talking about here, but this is truly one of the greatest players of all time, one of the greatest clutch players of all time, the greatest, one of the physical for the endurance and conditioning factor, who could play 48 minutes in the finals and did routinely the entire game. John Havlicek. I just have to have him. I need Havlicek. I'm not going to lose big. I know that. If I do,
no, Hondo's incredible. Yeah, he's absolutely incredible. I didn't see this guy, so I'm not going to pick him. But then I'll talk about him after, because I think you might take him. So I need I need somebody coming off the bench who. And do I need a center? I don't know if I need another center. KG can kind of fill that role for me if I want to play center. You know what I need? I think I need like a guy that I can just give the ball to down on the block and say, hey, get me some buckets. Good defensive player. Maybe the best low post player I've ever seen in my life, with the amount of moves he had down there. I'm gonna go Kevin McHale.
I agree with that. Wow. Well, yeah. Oh, that's that. And watch. You got to take Walton now to watch Bird, McHale, and Walton do their thing. Oh my God.
Oh, I know. I saw some highlights of that.
Yeah.
It's beautiful basketball,
isn't it? And the front
really
court
is.
Too. Yeah,
I know. Yeah. It's just bing, 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 boop, layup.
Yeah. So far from today's Celtics. Well, I'm going to take a guy that's going to suddenly solve a lot of my problems. Wilt Chamberlain.
Oh, Chamberlain and Russell on the same team, finally.
Yeah, I see. I've got a lot of arguments already breaking out. Kobe's going, what do you mean I'm not starting? Wilt says, I got to play with Russell, or I don't play. This, Magic, am I going to sit on the bench today? All I know is I've got 7 institutions at the game, and we'll figure it out later.
No, I mean, with 8 guys, you can't go wrong with any of these guys. I'm trying to think. Okay, do I need? I got 1, 2, 3. God, I probably could use a guard. You know what? I'm going to take him. I'm going to cheat a little bit here because I really didn't see him play, but I've met him a few times, and I got a chance to watch enough highlights of the man that I feel like I need a little bit of shooting. I need a guy who cares deeply about what he's doing, and a guy that's just going to give everything every single game to winning. I got to go Jerry West.
Oh, you're killing me. Oh, yeah. Greatest clutch shooter ever, Tom, for my money.
Yep.
Greatest ever.
Yeah, he's incredible. The man won the MVP when they lost.
They were listening to Laker games when they were just on the radio. And Chick heard once again, Jerry West wins the game time after time. Oh boy. Yeah. Bill Russell could never believe that they ever beat the Lakers just because of him. I mean, I don't know how we got past that guy. You tell me how that happened. So yeah, phenomenal pick. It's like taking Sam Jones well, here's one from out of nowhere, but Kareem is going to tell you that he was hoping that we wouldn't draft this guy because Kareem idolized this guy. One of the first great dunkers. He could hit from 25 routinely, tough on defense, played on some great teams. Gus Johnson.
Ooh, wow. That is one that not many people were expecting. Golly, it's crazy to think that we look at the teams that we have here, and there's so many more great players out there. Duncan and Barkley, and I mean, just all kinds of guys out there that were just phenomenal.
I could have had Bernard King if I'd done that last pick. Yeah.
Oh, Bernard King. No, I love Bernard King.
Yeah.
Wow. Now this would be a squad right here. You have and both of us have scoring. That's a given.
Yeah.
You got Russell kind of as your defensive anchor. Although I do have to say, I feel like with Magic and Steph, I may be able to get those guys on defense a little bit.
Oh yeah.
Maybe able to get those guys on defense a little bit. Like
that's where Kobe and Happy come in.
Yeah.
They might wind up.
I have one guy I think on defense that I think you may be able to attack Bird. But Jordan, Kareem, LeBron, and Durant, I have no problem with them. And then Garnett, McHale, West coming off the bench defensively. I feel like I'm okay there. Pretty good there.
I'm going to run these teams by Bob Ryan. He would love this exercise we're doing here.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you ought to see what he thinks.
Yeah,
I'd love to know what he thinks. So, well, I'm sorry for keeping you so long,
much fun.
I do appreciate it. Yeah, that was incredible. That was a lot of fun, and I love doing stuff with you. Always loved talking to you, and hopefully we can do it again at some point in the future, Bruce. I really appreciate it.
Give me a call. This is me every day, except the day I write. Actually, that day too.
It's great talking to you, Bruce.
All right, man. Be well.
All right, take care.
Take care.